What's up, everybody? It's your boy again, and today I am bringing you my review of Impossible Stars 2 from Ya Boi Zak, aka Richard C Meyer, and Chuck Dixon, who I'm sure cleaned up a lot of this and made this a lot more intelligible. We've also got art from Renzo who did Impossible Stars 1 and one of the other Ya Boi Zak projects, the Splatto Comics projects. Anyway, should have done a review of Impossible Stars 1 before this, but I'm going to do it in reverse order. The plots on these are fairly not super well thought out, kind of light, kind of, hey, it's basically a 3-issue comic book. It's basically a 90-page comic book. What do you really want out of it? However, this is very much kind of like a Warren Ellis sort of comic book, an Avatar comic from maybe the middle 2010s. Basically, we kind of have an info dump about Impossible Stars 1. Sections of the universe were blocked to humans by a race of aliens that we haven't seen yet. They basically put restrictions on where we could go, what we could do, our technology with space and that sort of thing. Some lone crusader on a ship in the Impossible Stars 1 went out there, got in touch with this race, came back. This one is about him coming back. He got a kind of horde with this race of unseen aliens, the Hurani, and basically, hey, now we can explore a little bit of space. We can do a little bit of that. And, hey, we're living in a sci-fi utopia now because we can explore a little bit of it. And anyway, we're kind of 100 years long. This guy is kind of similar to Ripley in Aliens. And for whatever unknown reason, he went 100 years ago, talked to these aliens, lived with them, and then has come back not aged a day. There is something about him pretty early on into this that really isn't super explained. He became a binary being. He's tied in with another being, and that starts sloughing off. He starts becoming himself again or something. I don't know. It's not super well explained as far as I'm concerned, but it's a comic book. That's not totally unexpected. We're aboard the ship Regina, and we're going to the Zwicky station. And basically, hey, it's kind of a cruise. It's a luxury space cruise is kind of what it starts out as. And our main character, Aaron Cruz, he's there kind of just chilling, kind of basking in the glow of being a hero and forming this accord with the Hurani. And hey, we're exploring space. We're getting money. Everybody's living in a utopia. Everybody's happy, right? Well, he's on this space cruise. A girl kind of starts talking to him, kind of starts flirting with him, and this character is really kind of anti-it for whatever reason. That is kind of a recurring thing that is going on through this story until the end. I'll get to that a little bit later. But anyway, it's about this guy. Hey, he's famous. Everybody knows him. He's, the savior of the universe and all that good sort of thing. And he's just kind of living his life, not really interested in this pretty good-looking girl that's interested in him for whatever reason. Meanwhile, while that's going on, we've got some setup going on with another passenger on this ship is exposed to something or other. You can tell he's sick. Something's weird. He's got veins all over him. He can't eat. He can't keep anything down. He's getting sicker and sicker. And then finally, it's kind of discovered and revealed that he is sick with a space weed. Like some sort of space weed is infecting him, growing all these weeds and plant-looking things everywhere that are shooting out spores and making other people sick too. So we've already kind of got a little bit of a sort of alien, sort of quarantine story going on there. But, hey, it's got that little Warren Ellis sort of esque touch to it where it's weird. It's flowers. It's biology. It's something you haven't thought of before. It's not these big space monsters with teeth that look like they're from a Nine Inch Nails video looking to Aria. These things are plants, and the spores are infecting you and messing with your mind, and that's how they're getting you and stuff like that. The space weeds start taking over more and more of the ship and the people on it, infecting them, making them do what they want, but we don't totally get it. But our hero Aaron, he kind of starts looking at this, starts recognizing it, that it is our Hurani thing, just the race that he had been with. hey, it's them actually. Hey, what's going on here? I guess they're not as good of guys as we thought they were, right? We have some scenes of people on the ship kind of getting together, shooting these weeds with flamethrowers, killing them off, but they still keep spreading the spores. We have a scene where we got to go outside the ship in spacesuits for whatever reason to do something or another outside. There's this whole point in this too. This guy Aaron is very anti kind of taking the flirting from this woman Shasta, who is seemingly into him because he's rich and famous, or at the very least famous in this society. He's kind of totally against it. He even kind of says some things that may be a little leading up to him being gay.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I kind of thought at the end of this he was going to be like, no, I'm not into you, woman, I'm gay, can't you tell?
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
But anyway, kind of towards about 3/4 of the way through, he just kisses her out of nowhere, completely out of nowhere, completely surprising her, the reader, I think even himself, the character. And he's like, by God, I've got it. It's argon. We've got all this argon in here in the air, and this is killing off those weeds, and we need to pump more argon in here. You know, kind of this real flimsy science, quote-unquote, explanation to all this to give it more of a, quote-unquote, real-world feel, like it could actually happen or that it's actually being explained through something or other that makes sense. Anyway, these two start pumping argon throughout the ship, but it's already been commandeered, and it's already going towards the space that they're not allowed to be in. So as these two are working to kill all these space weeds and get the ship back in control up, it's going to be in the quote-unquote wrong airspace before they can even do it, and the Hurani are going to kill them there, right? Well, wrong. Right at the end of this, we basically have a ship that encounters this other ship, and here's the spoiler alert. The Hurani are actually big damn spaceship beings. They take over basically these weeds, infect a spaceship, and then it takes over the spaceship, and then the spaceship becomes the Hurani. You know, some real science fiction mumbo jumbo. But anyway, they go into the restricted airspace, they see a Hurani, a ship there, and they start telepathically communicating with the ship. And suddenly, you know, hey, we're gonna get killed. We're gonna get killed by these space aliens for entering their domain. But then this woman gets this, you know, brilliant idea right at the end. She's like, well, wait a minute. And she puts this ring on the dude, on the possibly gay guy.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
And she's like, well, wait a minute, spaceship alien. We're married, and we're now a binary being. And it's okay for us to be in this space the same as you. We're the same as you. We're just a little different. And then it all just kind of wraps up. And this story, this whole thing where this guy, for at least 3/4 of this comic book, wasn't into this woman, flirting with them at all. It's just like, oh yeah, we're married now. I guess whatever you say, bud. And the alien ship turns around. They don't mess with them. Hey, that's okay. Bygones be bygones, whatever. And we go about our separate lives and go into the sunset, or in this case, a big solar flare. End of story. It's not the worst ever. Obviously, there's probably too much going on here. Some of this really gets lost in this short amount of pages. I'm sure Chuck Dixon made this a lot more linear and kind of less of a dog's breakfast of a story, I'm sure. A few spots in this that kind of really stand out to me. But about 1/4 of the way through it, as this woman Shasta and the guy Aaron are having their little banter back and forth. He's, you know, enjoying his life on this pleasure cruise sort of thing, and he is getting a suntan. He's getting a suntan in a sunbed, right? And she comes over to bug him, and he goes, trying to get my D here, Shasta. Again, I don't know if you're playing this character up as being gay.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Or if you just thought that was somehow a really cool line, and it's just like, well, the hero's always got to have these cool lines to say and these things. I don't think that's as cool as you thought it was, Zach. But maybe that's just me. But I'm trying to get my D here, Shasta. I don't think that's the cool line that you thought it was going to be. Again, like, I know you say, Richard, that you edited this yourself. Meanwhile, a real editor for you may just really kind of help you out. I know you're paying the bills and you want to be the writer, but this trying to get my D here, Shasta line, it's not as cool as you thought it was. Yeah, any editor, I think, should have just been like, we know you like it. We know you like it, Richard. We know you think this is a really great line in this. He just comes off as really gay.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
And you should probably cut it. Unless you want everybody who's reading the story to think by the end of it, it's just like, hey, this woman basically jumped from one prearranged marriage to another with a guy that, well, this guy's famous at least, and really kind of forced him into it in this really weird life or death situation. Anyway, the art in this is really good. When I say an Avatar comic from the mid 2010s, I'm not trying to shit on this at all. This is super competent art. The guy's getting better. This artist, Renzo Rodriguez, he's getting better. He's a very competent artist. This is a very well-drawn comic book. He's probably not as, you can tell he's still young. You can tell he's still learning. But great art in this comic. I'm going to give it a little flip through and see if there's anything else that really pops out at me. But again, like most of the Splatto comics, most of these, kind of a dog's breakfast of a lot of things really going on here. I know that comic books traditionally don't have the best storylines in them or the ones that make the most sense, and that really shouldn't bother me. But there's sometimes just these real jumps in the character from basically 20 pages ago to the last that it's just like, well, that wasn't really on the page, but we threw it in there at the end, and I guess it makes sense somehow. But anyway, the art is great in this. I will admit that this has been years to get made and get to me as a customer, and I should do a whole nother video about this, and I just might. But this comic is pretty well going to be the last Comicsgate project I get that I'm interested in it at all. Frankly, most of the people who have done this, Ethan Van Sciver in particular, but I got into the Comicsgate thing to see the Ya Boi Zak comics. I was really into the idea of, hey, here's this guy who's saying the industry, it stinks. The industry stinks right now, and we've got to fix it ourselves with self-publishing and the magic of that. It was a good idea. Really poor execution. I too, like a lot of people, think at this point that, hey, he is robbing Peter to pay Paul. He has overextended himself on a lot of these Kickstarters or Indiegogos or whatever you call them, and he has spent the money on some projects on other ones, and then he makes up these other projects to get some more money coming in and to pay for the ones that he's already promised and taken money on and has not delivered on. It's, there's just a lot of things that he does willfully kind of wrong. Like, for instance, this cover without a title on it, without a logo on it, with a real kind of shitty, quote-unquote, gimmick of a matte, totally black spaceship that you can't see, and then it gets real torn up. If I cared anymore, I really should say, hey man, this came to me damaged, I want another one. As you guys have seen in other videos, he's already done that. I've already been through this. It's not getting any better, and ultimately, just like kind of these paper-thin stories, my interest has really waned, and I don't find it to be really worth my time anymore. Renzo Rodriguez, if you do, another comic book with somebody else at some point, at Avatar, or I don't know, something like Zenscope, that seems like maybe a place, an artist, like you might, be able to get some work. Anyway, great artist. The story's lacking, and then also, there was a lot of energy, there's a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of childlike enthusiasm from Ya Boi Zak and Splatto Comics and all that. But over, 5 to 7 years probably now, over approximately 7 years. I will try to look that up and see if that is right, but that seems right off the top of my head. But but over 7 years, we've really kind of funneled a lot of money to a guy that was saying, hey, the comic industry sucks and I'm going to do it better. And he takes a long time to get a product out the door that's kind of substandard and is deficient and lacking in other ways, if not the same ways as the comic books he is complaining about already. Anyway, he's kind of really gotten as much money as he's gonna get out of me. Anyway, guys, that is all I've got for you. This time, if this is your first time watching a Humane Garbage video, please hit the subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications of new videos sent directly to your phone and inbox. Follow us on social media. And as always, stay tuned for another video from Humane Garbage Videos. Wow!